Hello, everyone, and welcome. I have a question for you. So, are you having fun going through the mini catalog and the celebration brochure and picking out your favorites? Yeah, me too. I'm having a really good time with it. So, one of the ones that I saw in there that I really liked was the Nested Friends bundle. So it comes with the stamp set and the dies. And I'm really liking it. I like the samples that Stampin' Up! Put in the catalog. So I'm going to show you, here's the card that I made with the bundle, with the stamp set and the dies. So this is the one that we're going to make today. So again, I want to say thank you for joining me. My name is Susan Malloy of SilverLadyStamping.com, and I am also an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. So I'm going to flip the camera and we'll get started. So the supplies that you're going to need is a piece of smoky slate cardstock cut at 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4.25. And then I have a layer of Starry Sky cardstock cut at 5.25 by 4. I have a piece of basic white that's cut at 4.75 by 3.5, and you will be embossing that with the Twigs and Sprigs hybrid embossing folder, or it's actually it's hybrid because it's not only an embossing folder, which is what you're going to use, but it also comes with coordinating dies. So the dies fit inside the embossing folder, and you can emboss and die cut at the same time. But we're just using the embossing folder for now. This, I don't believe, this will not go into the mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. It's too big. Although the catalog shows that there are many others that will fit into the mini. This is not one of them. So I went ahead and embossed it. You can use either side on the card. You can use the embossed side, which is where it's raised images, or you can use the debossed side, which is where the images are imprinted into the paper. But I prefer the embossed side, so but I went ahead and did the embossing ahead of time. Also, so you'll need also a piece for the inside of the card for your inside sentiment, and that is cut at 5.25 by 4. You're going to also need for the sentiment, you'll need the Label Me Lovely punch. So here is the card again, and I decided to do a punch. I love punches. I mean, it's so much easier than die cutting. I mean, the dies in many of these bundles are so nice, and they're intricate. But when it comes to sentiment labels, and even though we have many dies that are also sentiment labels, doing a punch, you just punch it out, you're done. No using the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So I'm a big fan of punches. This particular one is current in the annual catalog. But even if it weren't, I don't get rid of my punches. I keep them because I like them so much. So you're going to need that. You're going to also need a piece of Designer Series paper. Now, the one that I chose is a green design from Dandy Designs. And this is from the Celebration catalog, actually. Let me see if I can find the right page. Let's see. Here it is. So here it is, and this is the paper. And so as you can see, it says you can get this paper for free with a $100 purchase. And that means either from the annual catalog or the mini catalog. There are 48 sheets of paper, 12 by 12, which is unusual. whenever Stampin' Up! Is offering 48 sheets of paper, it's usually been cut down to 6 by 6. But in this case, you're getting 48 sheets of 12 by 12. That's a lot of paper. And the colors are Balmy Blue, Calypso Coral, Fresh Freesia, Granny Apple Green, which is what this is, Granny Apple Green, Mango Melody, and Petal Pink. But I'm matching it up with a little bit of Old Olive rather than Granny Apple Green. So what we're going to do first is take our embossed piece and we're going to tack this down. But first, what we want to do is flag the bottom. So you'll see on this one, I flagged the bottom of the strip. Now, many of you already know how to do flagging. But for those of you who don't, I'll show you, this is the easy tip. Just take your paper snips and snip just up the center, however high you want to do it. And then you go from the corner to the center. Then you turn your paper and you go from the other corner to the center. And now you have a flagged piece. Simple, right? I remember when I had no idea how to do it and I watched a video of somebody doing it and I was amazed and I said, oh, that's what you do. Okay. So there's always a simple trick to something, a tip or a trick. You just have to find the right video. Okay, I'm going to put some adhesive, but I'm not going to put it all the way to the bottom. I'm going to let the bottom part just float free. And then when I tack this down, I'm not going to put it all the way over to the edge. I'm going to leave a little bit of space. Okay. All right, there we go. Now I'm going to take my punch, easy peasy, take it out. Bingo, we're done. That's the sentiment. No dragging out the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. What I want to do is stamp the sentiment, which is, I'm just going to do, let's see, birthday wishes. Oops, I should have left it over. Birthday wishes. And I'm going to stamp, I'm going to use Starry Sky ink. Now, you can use Old Olive or you can use Granny Apple Green. I'm just choosing to use, ooh, you know what? I know that that's going to splotch. So that happens sometimes with the red rubber stamps. So I'm going to just be a little bit more careful when I put the ink on it. Let me try it again with a little less, but be a little less heavy-handed. All right, I still got some around the edges, so all I'm going to do is wipe it. Because I don't want to get extra ink on my card. All right, that should do it. Now I'm going to stamp it. See, I have the sentiment label with the straight edges on the left and the right, and I'm going to put the birthday wishes kind of at the bottom as much as I can. There we go. See, if I hadn't cleaned the stamp, I would have ended up with probably a little bit of a splotch there, which I definitely did not want. So sometimes when you're using the red rubber, you need to just check before you stamp. If you have some ink around the edges, you may want to wipe it off. Okay, let's put that aside for the time being. Now, I want to take my Old Olive ink and a sponge dauber, and I'm going to sponge some ink all around the edges of the sentiment label to give it a bit of a vintage look. So I'll show you a close-up. Here's the card again, and you can probably see that I did the daubing around, and it looks kind of, you know, vintagey. It makes it pop. And I'll show you the difference once I finish putting the ink on. So you just take your sponge dauber, dab it into your ink, and then just You just take it and you flick it around the very edge. And the color frames it, makes it stand out. Okay. All right, let me move this out of the way. Now, let me show you. So we'll be putting this on the card like about that. Oops, let me get it in the frame so you can actually see it. So we'll be putting it something like that, right? And it looks kind of nice. But here's what it would look like if it was just plain white. Not bad, but kind of, you know, doesn't really do anything, does it? So you see, by just putting a little color around the edges, you're making the sentiment label pop. And people won't even realize why it pops. It just does. So I'm going to go ahead and tack it down, and I'm just going to put some glue on it. I'm not popping it up. I mean, you certainly can, but I'm not going to. And I'm going to just put it, I don't know, like in the, not exactly in the center, but somewhere in that vicinity. And that's why I wanted you to have the strip not all the way over to the center, because I wanted to center the sentiment label on top of it. Okay, now let's see. All right, here's some additional pieces that I cut. Sorry for my arm stretch. Now, in the Nested Friends, it comes with a tree branch that you can stamp and that you can color. So I took my light crumb cake and went over it, colored it in, just nothing fancy. Right, and then I took some Old Olive. You can take Granny Apple Green too, but I chose like Old Olive and just colored in the leaves. Again, nothing fancy. They're just tiny, tiny leaves. That's it. That's how long it takes. Nothing. We'll put the branch on. Now, when you stamp and then die cut your branch, it's a much longer piece, and so you may need to cut it down a little bit. And actually, I think I'm going to cut it down a little bit more than it already is. All right. And then put it up in that little corner. And then I'm angling it down above the center of the birthday wishes. Now I'm just going to put some glue, and I'm going to start, you know, just below where it branches off. I'm not putting any glue on the upper part. All right, I'm just angling it down a little bit. Okay, and that's that for now. Now we have the bird, which I stamped with Starry Sky, and then I die cut it and then promptly misplaced the die. I have no idea where it went. All right, and then you can just leave him the way he is and put him onto your card, and that would be perfectly fine. So you could leave him like that with a white chest area, but I chose to color him in. Let me bring the other card back in. So I colored him in, and that's what I want to do with this one. And that's it. And for his little beak, I'm just going to dab on a little bit of light pumpkin pie. And then for a little bit extra, I'm putting some Wink of Stella on the bird. Now, birds don't glitter in real life, but there's no reason why my Stampin' Up! Bird can't glitter. He glitters and sparkles. There we go. Just putting it on his feathers. Okay. And then I want to put some dimensionals on the back. Just two dimensionals. Just a little image so it doesn't take a lot. Let me bring the card in. And I'm just going to just put his little feet on top of the branch. It's coming together already, right? Let me set that aside. So now we also have some flowers that we want to add. There's the flowers. So I die cut 3 larger flowers and 3 small ones, but they didn't come from Nested Friends because Nested Friends doesn't have any flower images. So I got the flower images from Queen Bee. Not from the stamp set, but from the dies. So here are the larger flower, the smaller flower in the Queen Bee bundle, which is an awesome bundle, by the way. Now I want to get my glue dots and put them together. So I'm using my Take Your Pick tool, the pointy end, and I'm peeling off a glue dot. I'm going to put it on the back of the little flower. You can use some liquid glue too if you wanted to. All right, and I'm going to just put it into the center of the larger flower. Simple as that. Come on. These glue dots are really sticky and they tend to move around a little bit. Okay. And just one more. Okay. All right. Now I want to change the tip to the large scoring tool. And I want to make these little flowers 3D because right now they're cute little flowers, but they're flat. And I want them to be popped up like these. You see, they're kind of 3D and popped up. And the way you do that is using a Stampin' Up! Stampin' Pierce mat, which is foam, right? It's just a piece of foam. And you take your large scoring tool and put it right in the center of your flower and you press it into the foam mat. And the flower kind of sinks into the foam mat. And you can see it's sunk in there, right? And it turns into a little 3D flower. How cool is that? So we'll do the same thing with the other two. It's a neat little trick. Okay. Love it. Now I'm going to put my little pokey one back on because I need to poke off some more of those glue dots to adhere them to the card. So now I'm going to take another glue dot and just put it on the back of the flower. And I'm going to put one on the end. Oops. I know my camera froze temporarily. I'm sorry about that. I'm not sure what's going on, but it's snowing outside and it may have something to do with that, maybe interfering with the, you know, the internet connection. All right, let's see. So I'm going to put it right on the end. And I'm going to take my, I don't want to keep changing the tip of it. I'm going to take the scoring tool and press down in the center to get it to adhere. Okay, now we'll do the same thing. Tear off some of that paper. Okay. Just another glue dot. And now for this one, I'm going to put one right here, and then I'm going to put one on right sort of next to it, catty corner. All right, again, I'm using this is part of the Take Your Pick tool, and I'm going to just press it down into the center just to get it to adhere to the card. And then just one more. Press it down. And there we go. I mean, you can press it with your finger too, or with your fingernail. If you don't have any fingernails, then the scoring tool is actually pretty cool. All right, and you can pop, once they're tacked down, you can pop them up a little bit, but we're not done yet. So now what I want to do is to take some, these are the Adhesive Back Milky Dots. Probably says what they are in the catalog, what colors they are, but it looks sort of like these are milky clear. These look like crumb cake. These look like starry sky. Not sure what those are. Anyway, I want to put centers, and I think I'm going to use these. I started out, when I made my first one of these, I used the Starry Sky. It was too matchy-matchy. I wanted the flower centers to stand out. And the blue against the blue, it didn't really stand out. Let me press that into place. You can already see it's not sticking. Oh, hello. Okay, let's try it again. Okay, I gotta press them in. This one doesn't want to stick, does it? It's a runaway. Okay, I'm gonna leave well enough alone while I can. And now I'm gonna pick up the third one. Well, here's one that's like a hitchhiker. Okay. They do tend to flatten out a little bit more, but they're easy to pop up again. Isn't that a cool tip though? Taking your little scoring tool and then pressing it into the foam mat, and you get a really nice 3D effect. That's cool, right? So now I'm going to, I don't need the foam mat anymore. I'll just put that aside. Oops. I'm going to tack this down, but what I'm going to do is tack it kind of over to the right, because I'm going to add in some Starry Sky twine, baker's twine, and I want to have a little extra space to do that. So I'm just going to use some liquid glue. My favorite. Those gem dots tend to stick everywhere. Okay, now I'm going to, now there you can see at the top and bottom, there's also a lot of space, but that's okay. I wanted that. I wanted to have a lot of blue. I don't know, I just thought it looked nice having a lot of space instead of going right up to the edge. All right, now I may be off a little, maybe off kilter a little bit, but that's okay. It's good enough. Now I have my baker's twine. This is the, let's see, the 2022 to 2024 in color baker's twine pack. So it comes in all 5 colors: Sweet Sorbet, Tahitian Tide, Orchid Oasis, Parakeet Party, and Starry Sky. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to start from, I want the bow to be down here. Let me see if I can do it. All right, and then I'm going to wrap it like 3 times. Get it in the camera. Okay. There's the 3 times. All right, and now let's see. See how I do with the bow. With twine, I'm not always, oh no, you know what? It's not. I need a longer tail. Let me undo it and start over. I need a longer tail on that end. I wasn't going to be able to get any kind of a right bow on it. Let's see how it goes. All right, I think this is going to work. Fingers crossed. Okay, I think that's going to work. With twine, it's so thin, it's hard to make a bow. There we go. I did it. Pulled the string, cut the excess. Now, what I want to do is separate the strings so that I have 3 there and 3 here, kind of separated. Wait, you know what? I might move it over a little bit. Because then we're going to tack it down to the card base. You know what? I want to cut a little bit of this. A little too long. Okay, so now you see it's like it kind of 3 strings. All right, and this is where we'll just tack it down to our card base. And I just need my liquid glue. I'm going to put the liquid glue around the ribbon too, in between it, just to make sure that it stays in place. With the twine around it, I have to press down a little bit more on the edges to get it to stay in place. There we go. Isn't that nice? So now I want to Well, actually what I think I'll do is I'll show you. So what I did for the inside is I said, wishing you all the wishes. I didn't like the sentiments and for the inside. So this says, you know, birthday wishes, right? There's birthday wishes. And of course I put a flower sort of over it. But it said, always thinking of you. Yeah, that's nice. And best friends have the good, make the good times better and the hard times easier. And I thought, well, what if it's not for a best friend? And then I looked at the Queen Bee one, which I was also using, and there really isn't anything there. So I said, all right, well, gotta go for another one. So I dug out the Best Day. Love the fat cat and the cupcake wrapper. And the wishing you all the wishes. And that's the one that I ended up using. And then I stamped a tree branch and put the little birdie, stamped the birdie over it. So that's how I decorated the inside. Now you can certainly choose a birthday sentiment or a greeting of some sort that is to your choosing. But I hope you enjoyed it. This was such a fun card. I like nature anyway, and so the Nested for You, Nested Friends is what it's called. The Nested Friends bundle, which is, let's see, it's on page 25. You can see I'm already like scratching up my book. Page 25, the Nested Friends. Love it. Love the samples that Stampin' Up! Has created in the catalog. They have like the best. They have the best samples. And then this is the Queen Bee. This, again, another nature one that I really, really love. I love this, again, love the samples that they've created. This is a fun one. Really pretty. What did I do? I didn't make a card out of it, but I did stamp the bee and colored it in with light pumpkin pie. And then I put some champagne, where are they? The champagne rhinestones? Yeah, the champagne rhinestone basic jewels. Haven't done anything with her yet. I'm trying to decide what card I want to do with it. But in any case, you know, love the idea of the Queen Bee. She even has a crown, so I may put a crown on her head. But that's what I do sometimes. You may do it too, is just stamp something and then play around with it and then figure out, okay, now I gotta do something with it and I don't know what. So it goes in my little bin that I have that have all kinds of little bits and pieces. Here's this is from the Nested Friends. So I die cut the nest and then I die cut the other nest, the other piece that has to go with it. I don't know, I gotta do something with it. These are from the diorama dies that I die cut and then never did anything with it. This is from the framed, anyway, we got some dies that are frames. I forget what they are. And, oh yeah, this is also from the Best Day. I did the birthday cake. Not sure what I'm going to do with it. This is from Fitting Florets. These are from the Butterfly Brilliance dies. I love these. And then various tags. Oh, and then the oval dies. The heart punch. No, these aren't dies. This is the punch. This the heart one is the, oh, this also goes with the Fitting Floret thing. Goes in the center, so you put the whole thing together and then you get two pieces. How nice is that? Oh, the brushed metallic paper. Oh yeah, these are all my pieces, my bits and bobs. all of my little pieces that go in here when I do something and I'm not sure what to do it with. I have big ideas and then I go, okay, now I don't know what to do. Oh, this would be kind of cute, huh? If I did something like this, put it inside the frame, that way maybe. I may do that. Anyway, I'm doing a stream of consciousness with you. Sorry, taking you along for the ride. I appreciate you joining me today. I really do. And I hope you enjoyed it. And I hope you will join me again for another episode of whatever it is that I'm doing. I'll have to do another card soon. I let too much time go by before. I mean, it was Christmas time, and now here it is, almost the middle of January, and it's been like almost a month since I put anything out there. So join me again. I hope you will. If you like my content, you can click the like button, maybe even subscribe. That would be great. I appreciate it. Swing on over to my website, silverlady.stamping.com. I would appreciate that. Again, thank you so much, and I look forward to having you back here soon. Bye-bye for now.